Betham has been a part of my life for as long as I can remember. It feels like home. I could talk on and on about the fantastic staff and wonderfully supportive rabbis, but there's not enough time or words that I could speak which would do justice to the thank you that these people deserve. Instead, I will focus on some Betham programs that were put together for students like me, which shaped the person that I have become. I'll begin with one of my favorite traditions at Betham, the annual camping trip. Imagine this: driving a long and winding road to a group campsite full of people chatting and setting up camp. Familiar faces can be seen all around. The fragrance of redwood trees and campfires fill your senses. Breathe in, breathe out. This is the Betham family camping trip. As I went through the Betham Hebrew and Sunday school youth education, getting ready for my bat mitzvah, I met many new people. The camping trip took these interactions to the next level. Turns out, singing off-tune to songs while members play guitar is a real bonding experience. But really, singing campfire songs with these people continues to be a cherished memory of mine. I can still vividly remember whittling sticks that we later used to roast marshmallows, which unsurprisingly made for awesome s'mores. I loved hiking alongside my older peers while we explored the river and usually trekked home with wet feet. I made memories that forever changed Betham from a synagogue to a community. With this community, I traveled to Washington, D.C., Portland, and cities in the Deep South. These trips fundamentally altered what I was interested in studying in college and pursuing as a career. While each of these programs were to different locations, they all had one thing in common: social justice. Traveling to DC with confirmation for Litaken, my peers and I lobbied our representatives, well, maybe their staff, but it's the thought that counts, and explained our stances on various issues. I chose to speak about the DREAM Act and immigration reform. I became fascinated with politics. In Portland, I spent time with my peers, learning about the lives of people experiencing houselessness. We spoke to someone who explained how they became houseless and the importance of using the term houseless instead of homeless. Houseless implies the lack of a physical space to live, while homeless implies a lack of community and social connections. We later helped build shelters for a houseless community we met. These lessons opened my eyes to the injustices plaguing our communities and the danger of stereotypes. I realized that I've taken my access to a house for granted and began recognizing my own privilege in having a house to call home. On the civil rights journey through the Deep South, I saw with my own eyes the remnants of sites in which slaves were auctioned off and Black bodies were lynched. I was horrified. We visited the Equal Justice Initiative, which housed a museum that explored and explained the link between slavery and many of the ongoing problems with the criminal justice system today. To prepare for the trip, along with taking a class that Rabbi Heath taught, I read Just Mercy, written by Brian Stevenson, who's also the founder of the Equal Justice Initiative. I was shocked at what I read, not much of which was taught to me in high school. I was aware that racism is still present in our society, but could not have guessed the extent to which it has infiltrated our laws and our culture. Later, we were fortunate enough to meet and learn from the wisdom of Joanne Bland, an activist for civil rights. We went to where she and Dr. King had begun the march from Selma to Montgomery in 1965 and discussed the importance of students like me joining the fight for racial justice. I was incredibly moved by the work that she has done. I decided to create a program at Betham called Social Action Learning, or SAL. In these workshops, Batty members discussed relevant social justice topics and plausible solutions. Without Betham, I would not have thought of touring Portland or lobbying representatives in DC. I would not have met Joanne Bland and felt the need rise inside me to protect the lives of people that were blatantly disregarded by our criminal justice system. These experiences shaped me into the person that I am today. My experiences from Beth Am have seeped into almost every crevice of my life. Due to my increased interest in social justice and social change, I decided to apply to college as a political science major. Months later, in March, I received my admittance to Brandeis University, which I will be attending next year. I was overjoyed. Brandeis represents to me a place in which I can continue to fight for lasting social change while learning in an environment shaped by the values and lessons taught in Judaism, the values and lessons I've come to cherish from being brought up with them at Beth Am. Because of these trips and experiences, Beth Am is a place I see as a home. It contains people that I see as family and relationships that I know will last for years to come. I'm so grateful for the people here that have changed my life and know that you have changed countless others' lives as well. Be proud of that. Thank you.